Welcome in, Greg Ruff and Coach Kevin Carroll along with us and talking conference action again. West Alabama comes in, but first just kind of assess where your team is. You got a couple of road games, got a split on the road, first
Yeah.
road trips in the history of Trevecca men's basketball in the Gulf South. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think real road wins are gold.
Yeah,
Anytime you can get one, they're never easy. This league is very competitive. I mean, there's not a bad team in it. I think any team can probably beat just about any other team on most nights, and getting a close win and an exciting win at AUM on Thursday in our first ever conference road game. That was an exciting win.
it was a battle, absolutely a battle. And then the Montevallo game, you guys were in it all the way. They had a late run at the end that got them the victory. But again, that was a game that appeared in my mind and watching it from afar that it was very winnable for you guys if things had gone a little bit differently. And then you look at the rest of the conference too, and we saw this with volleyball. That gave us our best examples, soccer somewhat. But there's a lot of depth in this league. And like you pointed to earlier, man, like the bottom of the league is good.
Yeah.
Lee predicted very high in the league is 0-3.
Yeah, yeah,
And West Alabama just went and got a victory there on Thursday night.
yeah, exactly. So that just it goes to show, and a lot of it too is just kind of who you play and when you play them. I think we've got a tough stretch to open conference play. 5 out of our first 7 are on the road. The 2 home games are against the number 1 and number 3 preseason teams in the conference. So. Hopefully we can steal a couple of these here and position ourselves for the second half of conference play in a good spot.
I just was wondering what you and Coach Booker did to make Matt Wilson mad.
Man, I'm telling you what, they didn't do us any favors, that's for sure. But I think you could have scheduled this and thrown 100 different schedules in a
Yes.
hat, and probably 9 out of 9 of them will come out and said, "Hey, it's a hard schedule," just because that's the teams you're playing.
You're
So,
familiar with the Gulf South. Talk about how it's been for you, though, in this role this time going into the Gulf South and your
yeah,
relationship with the coaches in the league.
yeah. I've said this before. It's just there's a lot of there's a lot of great leagues. There are no bad leagues out there, and it's just the game is maybe played a little bit differently in different parts of the country. Just my wife, who's a former high school basketball coach, played college basketball. She's watching some of these games, and she's just like, man, these teams are a lot different than the ones you were just playing. Not necessarily better or worse, just they're just stylistically it's different, and the things that you have to be able to solve, the solutions you have to find are different, and we're in the middle of trying to figure that out.
This is your second year at Trevecca, and you're in a new conference. Sometimes that
Yeah, for the second year in a row.
kind of hits. Yeah, second year in a row, you're in a new conference going through it. So again, you're a little bit familiar. It's not like you haven't been around these teams or
Yeah.
these coaches, but this team though is different than last year's, and you have some knowledge now of being around Trevecca. You've learned Trevecca a little bit. Talk about that and how that has gone for you in the second year.
Yeah, it is a different team. I think the things that feel different for me this year are just knowing a little bit more, about the school and the program, and I think we're a lot further along in terms of things that we're trying to plan, for the program, just alumni activities, fundraising activities. I know who to go to for answers and things of that nature.
You've learned who'll say
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, exactly. Who can help you the most, and
Yeah.
so that part's very helpful, I think. But I've said it before. It's a different day and age in college basketball. Everybody's got a new team almost. I mean,
Yeah.
Huntsville and Lee are very veteran team. They have a lot of the same guys back that they've had for a long period of time, and pretty much everybody else, it seems like, it's probably got a bunch of new guys, and everybody's old. Like you look at West Alabama, they've got, they play pretty much 8 guys, and all 8 or 7 of the 8 are juniors and seniors or 4th and 5th or 6th year players. So it's just, everybody's trying to figure things out right now and position themselves and jockey themselves for the stretch run of January and February, and that's why these games are so important.
We'll close out a little bit with Frank Wilson, Sam Harris, 2 former coaches here. I mean, for like 30-something years, they were the 2 guys that led this program.
Yeah.
And them coming back, that's been important to you, not just having
It
them
has.
back, but also having their players, the people that played from them back. You went to a thing back in September from the 87, 88 team. Just talk about why that's important to you.
Yeah, we always talk about how the things that we talk more about the things that are bigger than basketball than we do the things that are basketball.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that connectivity piece, you know, our culture of live your legacy, where you're paying forward knowledge, information, experiences that you've gathered from people before you. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, and that's why it's important for our alums to give back. It's
Yeah.
important for our alums to give their time, and you know, we've had a couple of guys, you know, provide meals or just come hang out with our team or whatever, and that's just, it's important for our guys to be able to see that so that they can replicate that going forward as they leave here.
Coming up next, it's West Alabama and Trevecca. Gulf South basketball here on Flow College.